Hello, Aquarius. Thank you for tuning in to this week's read. For the main part of the read, I'm using the Bonefire Tarot by Gabby Angus West. For supportive oracle cards, Queen of the Moon Oracle by Stacey DeMarco. I don't want to hit my elbow on. What's up with that? Okay. Let's go ahead and get right into this for... I feel like we're going to be putting out a lot of cards. Just have that weird feeling. Although, I'm the one putting them out, so. Not for nothing. There's a lot of cards. It's kind of ironic that I'm the one saying that when I'm the one putting them out. Yeah. Okay. A lot of cards. Whew. All right, so... Is it a roller coaster? I think you're going to do well the whole way. Like, I feel like you're going to do well the whole way. I don't know what's going on around you here, but we'll see as we keep going. This is a long-standing engagement. My first thought is, like, this is something that's been going on for a while, and it's still going on. Still going to keep going on even after this. You got resilience or resistance? Resistance... assessing, and the Ten of Cups. Now, probably fairly recently, which could have been in the last few months. I'm going to say it could be longer. I mean, it's a journal read. Take it with a grain of salt. You've had to make some changes. You've had to really look at what's happening. When I'm feeling resistance for you, I feel like you've been addressing like what have been these pressure points, what have been these points of contention. Whatever this situation is, there's been things that haven't gone exactly the way you want them to. There's problems. Could be people that you have a hard time dealing with. Could be literally a situation just like something just doesn't fly right, like this car doesn't work right or something like that. That's the resistance. That's you addressing like these certain things don't go exactly the way they should. They're always giving me a bit of pushback. And assessing and trying to correct that. You've been trying to do your best to either change things or find a better way to work with things. For example, if it's the car that just doesn't quite work right, why isn't it working right? Is there some way I can invest more money into it? Or is there something like, can I find something else to use? If it's a person, like, is there a better way to talk to this person, a better way to handle things, better time to handle things? Like, you've been trying to find better ways to just make the situation a little bit more palatable. So you've been putting in your due diligence. Now, I feel like whatever you've been working with, it at this point at least, it was time for that to happen. I do feel you had a measured degree of success. So in other words, you could literally look at this on paper and be like, for example, it was the car. I don't know why we're saying that. I took some initiative. I had the brakes checked. I had this fixed. I had that upgraded. And now instead of it like giving me problems every 2 months, it's gone 4 or 5 months. Like that's, you know what I mean? If it's the person, like instead of this person arguing with me every day, maybe they argue with me once or twice a week. Which, once to twice versus 5 times a week, that's an upgrade. That's measurable change. You know what I mean? You've made some difference here. The hunger with the will is kind of like the situation needed it. The situation called for it. You did make some improvements. You addressed the resistance. You were addressing what was resisting the progress. Okay, so you did good there. That's good. Okay, so when that happened, that was really good. You liked that. It also inspired you to keep going. You're kind of like, well, I made these few changes and I see this measurable improvement. It's good. I like it. Focus comes in on your side like, you know what? Why stop there? Maybe I can get rid of the resistance, or maybe I can upgrade this a little more to where it's actually, instead of it being a point of contention, maybe this can work to my favor in a different way. For the car, I'm kind of feeling like, maybe I can find a way where, I can do more with it. I can travel more. I can carpool, or I can do other things like that to where, maybe I don't have to drive it every day. Maybe there's other things like I can carpool, or I can have other people help me. Maybe there's other options. If it's a person, you're kind of like, you know what, maybe if I involve them a little more and give them a little bit more responsibility, maybe they can start having the initiative to make things easier, not only for me, but for them, because if I give them some more responsibility, they'll be more motivated to take care of things preemptively to where I don't have to find the problem. They've already taken care of it because I've made it their responsibility and I give them accolades for that. This is your focus, kind of like I'm going to change the landscape a bit here because we did so well to begin with. Let's continue this progress. You got change and you got creation. Creation's in the environment, changes in what's happening. You're creating some changes here, which I just explained. I feel like that's probably obvious anyway. But you're creating a different environment. You're creating a different bit of the landscape here. You're changing some things because you're like, that worked out well. We got to do a little bit more with it. Let's not beat that to death. I think we talked about it really good. It's being reiterated again, though. It is, because you got beginnings coming in. The action you're taking, you're choosing to do things. You're choosing to upgrade whatever you're doing. That is matching the situation. If it's a person, they're very happy, very gracious. They're very honored that you're doing this. But if it's a situation itself, it's just like it's paying off. The gratitude is telling me this is perfect timing. This is exactly what should be happening. You're on point with it. You got the Two of Cups with the beginnings. Like, this was the perfect move. You did something that was really good. Like, you saw it. You saw potential. It might have been a slight bit of a gamble. Kind of like, it might make our funds a little bit more skimpy. Like, you know what I mean? It might damage the piggy bank a little bit. But this is a gamble that's paying off in your favor. Especially if it's a person thing. Like, you're giving somebody else extra responsibility and you're like, I don't know if that's the best idea, but I guess we can roll the dice and see if it goes to my favor. It's going to your favor. It is going very well. It was a great move. Great move. Now, when this next part takes flight, like you've made your decision, you're moving forward, here we go, everybody on board, get in the station wagon, we're heading out, one of those moments. The Two of Wands comes in. Choices have to be made. Once you've moved forward, there's new choices, like if you're carpooling now or finding other people to help you make these transportation requirements, or if you're giving somebody else responsibility and handing some responsibility over to them, they're basically having to take that on. More decisions are being made or need to be made because of this change. It's like whatever you decided to do, once it's actually in play, new factors show up, you got to make decisions on those. That's basically what I'm saying. Not a big deal. Most of you are probably like, yeah, what else is new? You kick the ball onto the field, somebody else is going to kick it back, you got to do what you got to do. It's nothing new. So this happens, like basically this is how I feel, like you're kicking the ball out onto the field, somebody's kicking it back and you got to block. And you got to do what you got to do. So like the choices you made are perfect choices. They're very good choices, but nothing goes through without a hitch. It's kind of what I'm feeling. Hope that doesn't sound negative, but that's kind of how it feels. Like nothing's gonna go off here without a hitch. So some things are a little bit, there's learning pains. Like this isn't just like Avalon and everything works out like perfectly, but it's still more to the good than the bad. So you're like, okay, this is still going well, but let's fix this. Let's show this person I gave extra responsibility to what I need them to do with it. Let's work out these snafus with the transportation, whatever it is you're dealing with. You're like, all right, let's work out these differences. You get discernment with the Four of Pentacles, Four of Coins, kind of like trying to hold things together, trying to keep things on point, and trying to understand like what do I need to give in with and what can't I give in with. That's the discernment that's kind of adding into that flavor, kind of like, all right, what I'm trying to keep it on focus, trying to keep it in line. Some things I'm going to have to give a little bit. How far can I really afford to give in a little bit, though, with? And I feel like there's some people, their noses are going to get a little out of joint. Some people aren't going to like what you have to say, but you have to say what you have to say. I'm getting that with the self-love in the environment. Kind of like certain people are going to be a little bit disgruntled, a little bit disjointed about certain things you have to bring up. But I don't see like anything's that bad. I also, is this attraction? Attraction is there telling me like it will be honored what you have to say. It will be respected. You just might get a little bit more pushback than you really want. But it's all about the development. This communication coming back to you, even though it might not be the most positive, it is showing the engagement here that this person or people or whatever you're dealing with is engaged in the process. So as long as that energy is flowing back to you, that means, you know, there's that connection. You got that bond that you need. So it is good. It may not feel the best when it's happening, but it is good. Keep going. Okay. These are good. You're going to have to take more control of the situation. You might have to set in some more restrictions. There we go. I feel like for a lot of you, whatever you're adding in, if you're giving somebody else more responsibility, or if you're adding something else in, you're carpooling, whatever you're doing, it's like other people are realizing how much demand this is. You got the temperance, like over time, I feel like other people are going to realize like this isn't the easiest thing to do. They're not going to back out on you, but I'm getting the Three of Swords is like they're realizing like what you're keeping together, what you're doing to keep things on point. It's not the easiest thing to do. They don't want your position. They don't want that at all. But it's like one of those things where they're committed to it. They're in it now, but they're kind of like, this is a bit... the Sun card is happening out like you're the one keeping things on point. Is this like a point of contention again? I feel like there might be people that they find the way you communicate might be hard for them. I don't know why that's popping in right there. I mean, it's a general read. It won't hit for everybody. You're going to see this Three of Swords is what I'm seeing though. But I'm also noticing the Sun card is telling me everything is on point. So when you have to call something out, and I feel like that's what it is, isn't it? When you have to call something out, you call it out. Because if you don't, it's going to fail. Like, you have to. That's where you're going to get Three of Swords in the environment. People might not like it that you're holding them accountable, but that's why we get the Sun card. That's why things are continually working out. I think that might be very ironic to have this Three of Swords with the Sun card, but the Three of Swords is the environment. People don't like it when you call them out on stuff. And you're going to be doing it over time. It's going to be an ongoing thing. But that's why this works out. And I feel like they know that, so they can't really hold it against you. You call out things you have to call out. It's almost like I'm a little annoyed, like people are annoyed. I don't know why that's funny, but to me it is kind of like you have to do what you have to do for the success. I mean, you know, what are you supposed to do? Let it fail? No. Didn't come this far just to fail. I'm getting it as things keep going forward. I feel like this is going to be an ongoing process. Okay, this is why we're saying this. Okay, I get it. People are a little bit sensitive to some of the things you say. To make this better for you and for everybody else, you got sovereignty, wisdom, and then you got pleasure. Pleasure especially is saying giving people the chance to fix things. It's almost like, you know, instead of like showing up and doing like a snap audit, like, oh, is this right? Is that where that's supposed to be? Is this in line? Are all these reports done? Instead of just showing up out of nowhere, giving people like the preemptive heads up, I'm coming in a week, be on point. It's working with this energy, it's trying to give whoever you're dealing with like the heads up, like please be on point when I get there so that neither of us have to have an uncomfortable moment. Can you just please be on point so that we can all be happy? But the way you need to do it, whatever, because I feel like the longer you're into this, the more you're like, I want this to work out smoothly. I really am not into the whole calling people out, so if you could just be on point before you even get there. And I feel like they're saying, you're giving people heads up, like, I'm coming, I'm going to come to fix things, I'm going to come to check on things, so please, come on, be on point. I feel like there's always going to be that weird feeling for these people, kind of like they don't like to be held accountable. So you have to police the situation a little bit, and I think that's what we're trying to work around. You have to police the situation a little bit, and I feel like people don't like that. But it's also necessary. I feel like there's not really a way around it. It has to be policed a little bit. You got to do it. That's why, again, you got the Sun card here. That's why things are working out. I know that might seem strange that I keep pulling in that Sun card, but I feel like everything is really going well. Like, the whole situation itself is going very well. It's really optimal, but it's because people are keeping, like, you're keeping people accountable and, like, you know, not letting things just slide under the rug. Is there anything else I'm missing from this? Because I feel like people are constantly going to give you a little bit of flack about, you know, keeping on them, but I feel like you need to. I really do. Again, that Sun card, I feel like that's how I really want to end this. The Sun card makes me feel like this is going really well. This is going really well. I feel like the longer you get into this next situation or whatever you're doing here to make things better, it really is worth it. And I feel like what they're saying is don't get caught up in what people are saying too much. Like, if people are complaining or whining a little bit too much, I know that might sound rude, but if it, you know, just take it with a grain of salt. Don't let it hold you down, because this situation is going really well. Don't let the people who seem a little bit bummed out about it or just complaining about the little things, just push it to the side and keep going, is what I'm getting. That's what I'm feeling, because this is a really good situation. I feel like this is going really, really well. I mean, Aquarius is it's a very air, like, there's a lot of thought going on there. There's a lot of strategy going on there. You do what you have to do to put things together. You know, it's a complicated situation. I do feel like it's a complicated situation. So, it's going well. Just don't let it get to you, is what I'm getting. Just don't let it get to you. You'll be fine. All right. I'm going to let this go here. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James, the number 4, astral@gmail.com. Thank you.